It's time to go howl at the moon. This is our review of One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
One Night Ultimate Werewolf is a hidden identity role-playing game where players try and find the werewolves in the group. And I love this game.
This is one of our favorite games and one of the games that got us started in the weekly board gaming. And we'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play.
At the start of the game, each player is given a secret role, either a villager or a werewolf.
Then each player closes their eyes and the night phase begins.
Over the course of one night, certain players will open their eyes and perform actions that will give them some extra knowledge.
A game master or the companion app will go through the roles and tell players when they should open their eyes and take their action.
After all the nighttime actions have taken place, all the players open their eyes and then the bluffing and accusations begin.
After a predetermined number of minutes, each player votes on who they think is a werewolf and that player dies.
If a werewolf dies, then the villagers win. But if no werewolf dies, then the werewolves win. So as I said at the top, I love this game. It's a small box. You really just have these like cards of the different roles and then these little chips. You know, that's all it really is. It's the rules and the gameplay that I love, because when we first started playing, it would be like, all right, you know, everyone gets their role and then, you know, okay, start. At the very beginning, we're all just sitting there like, so what's up? But then as we played more and more, I really got into it. I don't know why. I just really love it.
This game was not only part of the board games that we would play that started our weekly board game night, but it was also the first hidden identity game that really got us into playing a lot more games. First we played this one, then we played Bang, and we played a couple other ones, but this one really got it where we're like, oh, we like hidden identity games. So we started looking at any type of hidden identity games. As Lee said, the box is small, it's a limited number of pieces, so it can travel easily, and most of the game is about the deception and the bluffing and the player interaction. You have your role, now how are you going to take advantage of that to try to win the game, either as a villager or as the werewolf?
So once we played the game a couple times and got comfortable with it, I felt it was my mission to make sure all of my friends played this game. So whether we were casually hanging out or it's like, hey guys, want to do a game night? I would bring this over, and then yeah, for the first time players, you have to really set aside like maybe 30 minutes to say, okay, if this happens, then you're this, and the app's gonna do this, and blah, 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 blah. I think that's the one drawback of teaching new people the game, just because there's a bit of a learning curve, but once they get it, it's just fun, because it's like, oh, what, you're a villager? Oh, okay. Like, no, I'm not, shut up. So, you know, a lot of interaction, a lot of just fun banter happening, and then at the very end, it's like 5 seconds left. It's like, hey guys, I was just kidding. You know, I'm not the werewolf, don't vote for me.
I wouldn't say that this game is difficult to learn. I wouldn't say you need 30 minutes for it. I think the hardest part about this game for anyone who's played board games but not hidden identity games, or for anyone who's not familiar with board games, is the idea that this whole game is all what's in your head and what's in the other player's head. It's what are you going to say to try to figure out who they are? Or what are they going to say to try to figure out who you are? Yes, during the nighttime phase, some of the villagers will open their eyes, like the seer or the insomniac or the troublemaker. Some of them will move things around and mix up the roles and make it a little bit more interesting so that when you are bluffing and you're like, oh yeah, I was this person. You're like, oh yeah, I was the troublemaker and I switched your roles. And now suddenly you're like, did they really do that or did they not do? So you get in people's heads. So it's all about getting in people's heads. And I think that's what you have to explain to people. There's nothing you can do to figure out the information other than talking with the people. And then you have to convince everyone, if you know who that werewolf is, you have to convince everyone to vote for that person. It's not enough that you know the answer. You have to convince everybody else that you know the answer.
One thing that I can't praise enough is the companion app. This app, you know, controls who wakes up, tells you exactly what to do, and it just eliminates the need for a game master or someone to just kind of sit on the sidelines and observe.
The thing that I like about this is you can set how long you're going to discuss. So the night phase, once everyone has to roll, the night phase, if you have a lot of people, it takes a little longer because you have to go through all the rolls. But it doesn't take more than 4 or 5 minutes. And then once you're done and you get into the day phase and everyone's discussing, you set that timer. So if you want the game to be like, all right, you have 2 minutes, let's talk. Or all right, we have 10 minutes, let's really get into this and really figure things out. That's up to you. So you can make this game as short or as long as you want it to. And I really like that. It doesn't take a whole hour. You can play this game and then play it multiple times. If you don't like being the werewolf and you got to be the werewolf one time, the next time maybe you're a villager or vice versa.
Another thing that I think is really cool is that this whole One Night series, there are other games where you're combining universes. So there's a One Night Daybreak, so a couple more werewolves and villager roles, but then there's like One Night Vampire, One Night Alien, and I think there's like a superheroes one. But the companion app has them all, so you can activate them all and then like, oh, I don't like this role. Let's play with these roles and then, you know, try and just merge the universes and see how this game plays.
There are a lot of roles in this game, and that's one of the downsides of it is you really need a lot of people in order to play it. Because there are so many roles, you can't really explore some of the fun roles that you can have when you have larger groups. So it's definitely a lot of fun if you can get 9, 10 people together and you can play with all the roles and you can really experience everything this has to offer. That's probably the best way to play this game. It's still fun with lower numbers, but it's not as fun.
Overall, what you see is what you get, right? You have some of these cards, some of these little pogs, and then the artwork is just these little portraits, right? But it's the rules and it's the roles and just the companion app too that leaves it so everyone can play is why I love this game. Because this was the first, I'm gonna give it like a 9 or a 10. I love it that much.
If this was one of our early reviews before we played a whole bunch of other games, reviewed a lot of other things on our channel, and we were just playing this game leading up to when we started the channel, this one would definitely be a 9 or a 10 because we really love this game. However, because we've played so many other hidden identity games and we really got into the genre, there are some other games that I kind of like a little bit better, like Donner Dinner Party or Secret Hitler, some of those. So I'm gonna have to say that this is probably a 7. I still really like this game and I'll play it with anyone who wants to play it. It's just not up to that level, only because it came out first and the other ones have improved on a really great idea. And that was our review of One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
What'd you think? What's your favorite hidden identity game? We're always looking for new ones, so let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to see other Halloween themed videos, check out the link in our description below.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.
Oh.